Life today poses challenges at various levels. Modern day living is threatened by anxiety, depression, failure at work, climate change, and war. But is a life of peace and harmony with fast paced progress possible or even conceivable? The answer, a resounding yes, lies in the ancient Indian philosophy of Vedanta. This pristine Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads has answers to all human problems and is a pathway to the ultimate goal of human existence, God or self-realization. The Vedanta Wisdom Trust's mission is to educate humanity on this knowledge. Towards this end, it holds weekly online classes attended by learners from all over the world. The Trust's e-learning platform offers a number of self-paced certificate courses. Offline events include outstation retreats, seminars, public lectures, and workshops. Top professionals can learn and apply Vedantic knowledge in their fields through the Trust's corporate workshop services. The Trust's upcoming project, the Vedanta Wisdom University, will be the world's first university with a curriculum based on Vedanta. Along with education that provides a means of livelihood, it aims to empower its students to become tomorrow's leaders who can think creatively and advance humankind as a whole. Spearheading the Trust and its services is Dr. Janki Santoke, a well-known proponent of Vedanta for over 3 decades now, a sought-after teacher of the subject and an author who writes for The Speaking Tree, The Economic Times, and more. Her first book, How Do You Know What You Know, examines thinking and its effects on life. Her next book on happiness is in the publication stage. Janki Ji's social media presence continues to grow with the YouTube channel Team Janki Santoke comprising a subscriber base of thousands across continents. To learn more, please visit
Hari Om everyone. Welcome to the 4th and final day of the Vedanta Wisdom Trust lecture series on Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. As with all the previous 3 days, the takeaways for today's session would be presented on the screen along with some announcements at the end of the session. We now request our teacher and speaker for the evening, Dr. Janki Santoke, to address us this evening. Thank you.
Sahanam bhavatu sahanau punaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together we will chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 25 to 34.
Yanti devavrata devan Pitrunyanti pitrivrataha Bhutani yanti bhutejaha Yanti madhyajinopi mam Patram pushpam phalam toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati Tadaham bhaktyupahritam Ashnami prayatatmanaha Yat यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग्व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य येऽपि स्युः पापयोनयः स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्राः तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैष्यसि युक्त्वैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः.
Actually, you're muted.
Sorry, thank you, Mahesh. Yes, today is the last day of these lectures. And yesterday we stopped at one of the most powerful verses of the Gita. In fact, this verse is considered very important because it is in the exact center, it's the central verse. So its message is also central. What is its message? That whatever you want in this world, you have to think about that. Ananya Chinta, no other thought. If you just pursue anything, no other thought. If these 4 days, if we had pursued chapter 9 with no other thought, we listened to the lecture, we studied it in the morning, we pursue it with no other thought, you will be the master of this chapter. Whatever you have spent your time learning, you would have digested. So, whenever you want to achieve anything, it has to be Ananya Chinta, no other thought. And Paryupasate. Paryupasate means worship. Worship means pursue. So no other thought and every action directed to that. You will never move from that. And if you were to do that, if you seek the self in this manner, the Lord says, I will grant you yoga and shema. Now, yoga and shema, you can do lectures on yoga and shema. But broadly speaking, you can see it as material and spiritual welfare. I mean, you can use this. Basically, it means you will reach your spiritual goal. Along with your whatever material needs, they will all be met as well. Or the best way actually is to think of it as it will keep you consistent in the path and he will make you reach the ultimate goal. How will he keep us consistent in the path? because the urge for happiness will draw us to our original nature. So actually, if you read it carefully, he is not doing anything. We have to do it all. We have to fix the goal. We have to direct all our thoughts to it. We have to direct all our actions towards it. Then you'll say, what is he going to give if I have done all this? What it means is that without the power of the enlivening principle, none of this is going to work. So don't forget it. We tend to forget. We tend to think that it is only us. It is not only us, because it's like the bulb saying, because of me, there's electricity. I mean, because of me, there's light. And it's forgotten there's electricity. So if you do that, what will happen? You're bound to fall, which he's going to tell you. You're going to fall from the practice. Okay, so if you follow this principle, you will achieve your spiritual ends, you will achieve your material ends, you will achieve whatever goal you have set for yourself. But please understand that if you do try to achieve some other goal, because with this principle, you will. But if you do try to achieve it, remember, moghasha, mogha karmani, mogha jnana, it will be in vain. So that's what he's going to tell us. Verse 23. Yepyanya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhi purvakam yepyanya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhi purvakam ye api anya devataha bhaktaha. Those who are the bhaktas, who are the devotees of anya devataha, some other god. Yajante shraddhayanvitaha, but they are pursuing it with shraddha. Means, remember what he told us? What is shraddha? Shraddha is that capacity to fix yourself something and keep at it with full faith and belief until you actually obtain it. That is called shraddha. So he says, if you're worshipping other gods, but with shraddha, tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti. They also, kaunteya, mam, eva, me alone, are they worshipping. Though it is avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam means this is contrary to vidhi, this is contrary to traditional practice. So basically he's saying, if you're worshipping other gods, now what is this other gods? In our culture, in the Indian setup, everything is God. Just everything. Because we look at this world as just a manifestation of the Lord, we call everything in this world by the name of a God, right? So whatever you're pursuing, you're really pursuing God. If you're pursuing wealth, we call it Lakshmi. If you're pursuing knowledge, we call it Saraswati. If you're pursuing strength, we call it Hanuman. If you want success, it's Ganesha. So everything that a human being can possibly think of, they've divinized it. Instead of telling us, think of God, what the wise sages in the past did was they put a God wherever our thoughts went. So if you're pursuing wealth, people say, see, he's after Lakshmi. So what it means is every aspect of this is God. So either you can pursue God directly, which he says, ananya chinta, or you can pursue some aspect of this world, any aspect. It is also a manifestation of the Lord. But this pursuit is non-traditional practice, avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam means it is not traditional. Now, what does it mean it's not traditional? It means that in this country, everybody was dedicated to realizing the self. That is why the early people in this region, we did not call ourselves Indian. We called ourselves Bharatiya. We are the descendants of Bharata, so Bharatiya. So what does this Bharatiya mean? What's this concept of Bharatiya? Bha means light. Rati means reveling. So those who are reveling in the light of consciousness, they are Bharatiya. This whole country was dedicated to a spiritual growth. And therefore, this country was the most prosperous, the most happy, the most loving, the most advanced. And for thousands of years, not, like 200-300 years, this high level continued for like thousands of years. We were like 25% of the world economy when we were invaded, attacked, taken over, when we were conquered. So we were at an extremely high state, whether it was intellectual development or peaceful or dynamic. They said there was gold on our streets. Now that may be an exaggeration, but remember, we are called Sone ki Chidiya. So when people change the focus of their attention from focusing on their spiritual growth to achieving some material ends, whatever those material ends are, he's going to tell us what kind of material ends. Whatever they are, it is avidhi purvaki. As Indians, it is our glory, it is our dignity to pursue single-pointedly only that higher truth. There's nothing else here for us to do. And this is India's gift to the world, real gift to the world, to tell all humans that that's the only reason we're here. We have no other purpose here. But when people pursue something else, why do they pursue that other thing? If you think about it, anybody pursuing anything is pursuing it only to gain happiness. But what kind of happiness do you want from it? If you want money, or you want relationships, or you want to have work on climate change, whatever in the world you want to do, why do you want to do it? At the bottom of it is only in the pursuit of infinite happiness. The state of the self is the state of infinite happiness. So whatever you claim to pursue, what you're really pursuing is the self. So that's why he said, whatever God you pursue, whatever God means, whatever aspect of this world you pursue, what you're really pursuing is only me. Because what you're really looking for is infinite happiness, unending happiness. It has to be the highest in quality and the highest in quantity, and it must remain. This is what you're looking for. But it's available in only one place. So if you do it in any other place, you try to find it in some other place, avidhi purvakam. This is not according to vidhi, this is not according to traditional practice. So, verse 24. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha na tu mam abhijananti tatvena tashyavanti te. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha na tu mam abhijananti tatvena tashyavanti te. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am sarva yajnanam, of all yajnas, the bhokta, the enjoyer. Cha means and, prabhu eva cha. I am the prabhu and I am the bhokta of all yajnas. Remember, we studied about yajna. What is yajna? Yajna is right action, working for a higher cause, working with the spirit of cooperative endeavor. In his concept of things, When you do action, you will do right action. So he calls all actions yajna. So all actions, I am the Prabhu, I am the Lord, means I live in all actions. I am the bhokta, I am the enjoyer. Both the doer as well as the enjoyer is himself. Everything in this world is only him. Remember how he told us, I am Kratu, I am Huta, I am Agni, I am all of this. Everything in the world is nothing but him. The doer of the action, the enjoyer of the action, means whether you're receiving stimuli or you are reacting to the stimuli, it is all by his power and his power alone. I hope you understand by his power what it means. It means like it is the power of the electricity that allows the light and allows the bulb to give the light. The power does not determine whether you will give light or you will give air or you will give sound. That is not what the power determines. But without that power, nobody, no gadget can do anything. So he says, I am indeed the enjoyer and Lord of all yajna. But tu mam na abhijananti. But they don't know this. So, ataha means so, chavantite. They fall. They fall means what? We get so involved in actions that we lose our mental equilibrium. We get so involved in actions that we forget what on earth are we doing this action for. We get so involved in action that neither can we get progress from it, nor can we get peace from it. We fall. Chavanti means to fall. That is why, as you know, Krishna is called Achyuta. Achyuta means never falling. You can't fall. So true knowledge means you can't fall. But if you don't have the knowledge of what is the real picture, what is the whole picture behind all of this, we get involved, we get upset, we get agitated, and then we try to escape work to find that peace. By escaping work, we will never find that peace. We can find peace only in work. But that work has to be done in a particular way. That is why the Upanishad says, may you live 100 years working. That way of working is what we have to learn. What is that way of working? I hope you remember. You do what you have to do with the goal of reaching the self. Don't forget that. If you forget the goal, you will fall from the goal. Very simple, right? And throughout this, even in Kena Upanishad, the war, the demons and the gods had a fight, and then the gods won, and the gods were celebrating. And they said, and then while they were celebrating, they threw a party. But they didn't even invite Brahman. Can you imagine that? So Brahman came and stood there as an adorable yaksha. It's just a story. In the sense, how did you forget by what power you won this war? How did you forget? How did you forget by what power you can see? How do you forget by what power you can hear? By what power you can feel it? How do you forget that? But if you do forget it, chavantite, they fall. Verse 25. Yanti deva vrata deva pitrun yanti prituvrataha bhutani yanti bhutejaha yanti madhyajinopi mam yanti deva vrata devam Pitrunyanti pritvrataha bhutani yanti bhutejaha yanti madhyajinopi mam yanti devavrata devam. Those who worship the devas represent the senses. Those who worship the senses, go to the senses. Pitrun yanti pituvrataha. Those who worship the pitrus, the ancestors, that's where they reach. Bhutani yanti bhutejaha. Those who worship the bhutas. Bhutas means the elements. That means the natural world. And that is what they reach. Yanti madhyajino pima. They come to me, they go to me, who worship me. So I hope you're following the line of thought. He told us very clearly, Ananya Chinta, no other thought but me. Your goal, that spiritual enlightenment, has to stay fixed. If it doesn't stay fixed, you fall. So he's now telling us how it does. He is contrasting the two. Those who worship him, those who worship someone else. So 4 types of people in this world. You can call them the first type. Okay, you can divide them introvert, extrovert. The first type are people who are interested in the senses. Interested in the senses means devas. Devas means the devas of heaven, those gods. So what does that represent? It's super sensuous enjoyment. Those who are worshipping the senses means those who are chasing pleasures in life. All the time they say, okay, what movie can I see? Where do we go for the next meal? What's the new movie on Netflix? All the time they're chasing pleasure. More and more pleasure. So what do? They end up in those type of things. Then the second type of people are the Pitruyan, Pitruvrataha, those who worship the Pitrus. Pitrus means your ancestors. So worshipping the Pitrus means what? Worshipping culture, worshipping tradition, worshipping values which have come down to us from the past. So Pitruvrataha, those who are interested in the ancestors, they are very cultured people. They are very good, like, maybe they're interested in, I don't know, classical music, in cleanliness. They're cultured people. They have wonderful ways of talking, very, very highly cultured individuals. Then third type of person is those who are Bhutani Yanti Bhutejaha, who go to the Bhutani. Bhutani means the elements. That means nature. That means scientists. Those who study the science, nature, the world, that's where they reach. Those who pursue me, reach me. Those who pursue the self, reach the self. Now, what does it mean that they are pursuing? If you think about it, can you live a life without any of these things? You will have to have enjoyments in life. You will have to have culture in life. You will have to have a scientific backing of whatever you're doing in life. How can you live without it? This is what is the difficulty he has in expressing this idea. Are you pursuing these things as an end in themselves? Or are you pursuing these things with the intent of realization, of enlightenment? That intent is the only difference between materiality and spirituality. There's no other difference. It's not that if you are interested in realizing the self, you will give up your job. None of this stuff, right? You will get rid of your family. No. You will never enjoy a movie and you will never have ice cream. No. You will do all these things. Everybody does them. There's no taboo against doing it. then what is the difference? And I hope you get this difference, at least in these lectures. This much is clear. The only difference lies in intention. Are you doing it as an end in itself, or are you doing it as a stepping stone to self-realization? That's the only difference between a material person and a spiritual person. So what he's telling us is, whatever you are looking for in life, you will end up getting that thing. This is the tragedy of life. This is, you feel, oh, my desires will not be fulfilled. We worry like that, But the tragedy is that your desire will be fulfilled. You wanted it, you get it. And then if it is not what, like you wanted the box, and then you craved for the box, and you longed for the box, and you got some whatever box you were looking for. And then you opened that box, and there was a jack in the box, and you got really terrified. So minimum you should do is find out that if I do get this box, what is going to be the consequence of getting it? This is minimum, no, before you do. Have you heard of this thing? The buyer beware. Heard of this, right? Buyer beware. That means before you buy anything, you should check the quality of goods and all whatever you're buying before you purchase. But buyer beware must mean more than that, right? You must not only check that the goods are fine in themselves, but their result of bringing them in your life or in your house. You should know that as well. That's what he's telling you. Okay, so only difference here, I can't get you all to switch on your mics and answer as it could be in class. Only difference here between material and spiritual is, I'm going to tell you because I can't have you unmute yourself, but I hope you got the answer. And if you got the answer, you can pat yourself on the back. The only difference between spiritual and material is attitudinal. What is it that you really want? If you really want the self, you're a spiritual person. And if you really want the world, you're a material person. It is that simple. Except it's not. Say, therefore, the next verse is a very famous, very popular verse. Let us do that one. Verse 26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyuprarutam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyuparutam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Another very beautiful verse from this chapter. We are doing this chapter in 4 days, which is really unfair. But this chapter has so many beautiful verses. And it's a very, very popular verse. I won't tell you memorize it because I already told you that one you have to memorize. But if you want the second verse to memorize, then please memorize this one. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, water. What is the Lord asking from us? The leaf, the flower, the fruit, and water. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. With devotion, if you offer. Tat aham bhaktya prihritam ashnani prayatatmana. That devout offering, I ashnami, I eat, means I will accept. Prayatatmana. What a beautiful verse this is. So first thing we learn from this is, what is it that you have to offer the Lord? It doesn't matter because it is patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. These are not great things, right? It doesn't matter. What matters is two things. Bhaktya. Bhaktya means with devotion. And number two, prayatatmana. Striving. So you can live in some blissful thing, right? Oh, I love the Lord, I love Him. But are you striving? Are you putting in the necessary action? Are you doing what you should be doing? No, I love the Lord very much. But when it comes to doing anything, don't expect me to do it. Are you living that life of discipline? Are you living the life that you should be doing? Are you getting up in the morning and studying? Striving. So if you have these two qualities, the Lord accepts your offering. That means you go close to Him. That means you will get the fruit of what you desire. And then He has these 4 very interesting things that He has chosen. You can take them very mildly as patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Fruit, flower, water. There's nothing much in this world. Like, it doesn't matter what you're actually doing or what you're actually offering. Because just think about it. If you try to offer the Lord anything, whose is it at the moment? It's the Lord's, no? What are you offering? It's like me coming to your house and saying, can you just give me that vase over there? And you say, yeah, sure, take it. And I pick up that vase and I give it to you and I say, happy birthday. Your father like, yeah, what is wrong with you? You pick up my things, you give it to me and you say, happy birthday. What is the meaning of this thing? So similarly, you can't give the Lord anything because it's already His. What are you going to give Him? But then why has He chosen these 4 things? One way, of course, is they're all insignificant. The other one is there is a philosophical meaning in each one of them. Patram is a leaf. The most active part of a plant is its leaf. So patram refers to actions. We're offering all actions to the Lord means that through all our actions, we only want the Lord. That is why this action is performed. Pushpam means flower. Flower means a vasana. You know why this equation is there is because the word vasana comes from the word vas, which means fragrance. And the flower is fragrance. So there's an association, flower as vasana. That is why even when you go to the temple or you do puja at home, you offer flowers, right? And how do you offer them? Have you noticed what you do? You pick up the flower and then you offer it. That's what you do, right? The whole country does that. So what exactly are we doing when we do that? The 5 fingers represent the 5 senses. When they are pointing to the earth, we pick up a vasana. And when they point up, we drop the vasana. We are offering all our vasanas, all our desires to the Lord. Phalam. Phalam means the fruit of action. Fruit of action means whenever we do something, there's going to be some effect. Some effect. But we are not interested in that effect. We are offering that effect to the Lord. All we want is the service. Suppose you do a lot of service, you will become a famous person. Isn't it? Mahatma Gandhi does service, he becomes famous. Anyone who does, say, Joan of Arc does service, she becomes famous. There will be some effect, especially of good actions. You will feel very happy mentally. You'll become immortal in people's eyes. But you're not interested in either of these things. You're offering the fruit of your action to the Lord. You give it up. I'm not interested in any of this stuff. All I want is the self. That was the stance of Nachiketa. He told Yamdev, either self or nothing. And Yamraj is telling him, I'll give you all these things, dancers and singers and horse. All your Nritya Gita, you keep yourself. I'm not interested, he said. Self or nothing. That is a sadhak. That is somebody worthy of being called a sadhak. So he says, whatever you offer with devotion, that devout offering of the striving self, I accept. Two qualities. You have to have devotion. Devotion is what? Devotion is only love for the higher. When you love the higher, it's called devotion. When you love equals and something below, it's called love. The same affection. Turn it up, it becomes devotion. You're devoted to parents, you're devoted to God, you're devoted to your country. Turn it to equals or lower. I love my dog, I love my cat, I love my children, I love my spouse, I love my table, I love my furniture. Turn it down, same thing. So you turn your affection to him. With that affection, means the mind is wanting that thing. And the intellect is able to drive the body to work in that direction. If you do this, I accept. I accept means you will get the result of your sadhana, which is the merger with the truth. Automatically, your vasanas will wane away. Verse 27. Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam, yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, Kurushva madarpanam. Now, I certainly can't say that you should memorize this verse, right? But there's another beautiful verse which would do good for us to always remember. Yat karoshi, whatever you do. Yat ashnasi, whatever you eat. Yat juhosi, whatever you offer. Dadasi yat, whatever you give. Yat tapasyasi, whatever tapas you do. Tat kurushva madarpan. Do it for me and me alone. Isn't that a beautiful idea? Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give, whatever austerity you practice or count there, do it for me alone. So he's following this line of thought, and I hope you are also following the line of thought, which is that you have to have ananya chinta, single-pointed thought on him. When your thought diverts to something else, either it is, it could be anything, good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter, then you will attain that because that is your intention. So you have to divert your thoughts to the intention of reaching enlightenment. That intention is what counts. And then as long as you're devoted and as long as you're working, you will achieve the end. Now, what he's telling us is, when we do material things, okay, suppose I go to office. I can go to office thinking about my salary, about my promotion, about so many things I can do. And I understand that there is a materiality in this. If I want to be with my family, with my friends, if I want to see a movie, if I want to go to the beach, I want to travel, I want to go to Vegas, I want to do any of these things if I want to do. I want to go to Baku. I understand it is material. But if I want to go for a pilgrimage, if I want to go to Mecca, Medina, to Tirupati Balaji, I want to go to Israel, to Jerusalem, to Rome. I identify these things as spiritual things. So I want to go to the temple or church or mosque, to the fire temple. I identify these things as spiritual. And hence they are more dangerous for us. As a sadhak, it is very easy to say that people doing worldly things are material. And people who are going to the temple or the church or the mosque are spiritual. This is an incorrect way of looking at it. Because look at his definition. Mad arpanam. You offer it to me. So when you're offering it, it doesn't matter whether you're offering your office work to him, your family work to him, your travel to him. He says, Yat karoshi, whatever you do. That's why he gave the examples of, this patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, because that is actually the offering we make. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is the bhakti and the striving that goes with it. So what he's telling us is a very, very practical philosophy. It is not something, you have to go to the Himalayas to do. He says, Yat karoshi, whatever you do. Yat ashnasi, whatever you eat. Eat refers to not just eating with your mouth, but eating with all your senses. All the stimuli that comes, everything. Whatever stimuli you have taken, do it for my sake. Yat juhoshi. Juhoshi means the sacrificial offering. In the Havan you give the offering. So whatever good deeds you're doing, whatever service you're doing for others, do it for my sake. Whatever you're giving, you do charity, whatever. The important thing is not the charity that we're doing, but the reason we're doing the charity. We can do a charity for our own glorification. Oh, look how great I am. I do charity. That's why, everywhere you go, you say names of everybody, in memory of my beloved mother and my beloved father and so and so and so and so. This is not charity. This is self-glorification. So, but if you do charity, then what should be the intent? So one thing is, I do it for my own glorification. Two is, I do it for your welfare. That is obviously good. But even better than that is, I do it because it is the right thing to do. I'm not looking for any fruit, this way or that way, not for myself and not for you. In this situation, this is the right thing to do. I have to figure out for myself what in a situation is the right thing to do and do it. And that perfect action which I performed is my offering to the Lord. That my discrimination was able to tell me what is the right thing to do in this situation. Often saying no is the right thing to do. Not often. Don't say no. Every time somebody asks you for something, you say, no. The right thing to do is not to give you anything. Not like that. It's not like you're trying not to give. It is that you're ensuring that everything you do, every step you take is on the path of dharma. You won't do a step other than that. So offer that to me. Yat tapasyasi. Whatever discipline you are maintaining, tapas is only discipline. Tapas is defined as conservation of energy and redirection to a higher cause. When you do tapas, when you do some discipline, you do what should be done. You can end up becoming Ravana. Because Ravana had the best discipline in the world. You know how disciplined he was? He wanted to get the favor of Shiva. So he chopped his head off and threw it into the fire. Can you believe that? You think you're capable of that kind of ghor tapas, that kind of self-control, able to execute such actions? So just being disciplined is not good. That discipline has to reach the self. It is meant to reach the self. So yat tapasyasi, whatever discipline you are maintaining, it is not because my father said so, my mother said so, because discipline is so good for you. No, it is to reach the self. Tat kurushva madarpana. Do it for my sake. Do it for my sake means when your goal is self-realization, everything that you do is only for it. When you want to remember the self, you remember His power in all things. Means I can't move, this finger, I can move it, right? Yet I can't move this finger. Without his power, nothing is happening. I feel now, okay, I'm moving this finger. I mean, at one point I had a really bad back. And I couldn't move. Somebody had to pick me up from bed. And that time when these things happen to you, you realize I'm telling my body to move. It is not moving. Every time I move this finger, how grateful should I be that it actually moved when I said move? Because there are times in life where you tell, you want to turn in bed, I want to turn, I can't turn. My back is hurting because I'm in the same position. I want to turn. I don't have the capacity to turn. So how much ego will we take upon ourselves that I do this, I do that? No. All of it has a whole mechanism behind it. It has every action that we have performed has the infinite behind it. Don't forget that. Just don't forget it. You're hearing, just imagine. The fact that you're listening to the lecture, you know how many things have happened? In every city, okay? I know we are all from different cities. I can see Bhavna, she's in Pune. Deepraj is in Assam. Nilanjan is in Delhi, and y'all are all wherever y'all are. Nadine is in Paris. Everywhere, people are there. And the reason y'all are all here, because in your city or in your country, some guy went to work and made sure that the electricity continues. And that's such a small part of this whole experience. So what ego are we taking on ourselves? Let us remember there's a whole infinitude behind everything that happens. And all that collective infinitude is powered by the Lord. So remember that. Do it as an offering to me. So offering is understood as I'm doing it for it. And I understand also that it's happening also because of it. That also I can understand. Verse 28. Shubha Shubha Falairevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanaihi Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupaishyasi Shubha Shubha Falairevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanaihi Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupaishyasi. Shubha Ashubha Phalam. The good and evil results. Evam Mokshase. You will get moksha. You will get release from the good and bad fruits. You will be released from karma bandhana. How? Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma. Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma. Sannyas. Nyas means to leave. Sannyas means to leave completely. Yoga means to join. So it's almost like make up your mind. You want us to leave or you want us to join? Sannyasa Yoga, it's a contradiction in terms. It's an oxymoron. How come sannyas, which means leave, and yoga means to join? Vimukta upaishyasi. So by sannyasa yoga, you will be vimukta. You will be freed. Shubha Ashubha Phalam. The good and evil fruits you shall be freed of. The good and evil fruits means as we function in this world, if you function with negative desires, you will get negative results. If you function with positive desires, good desires, service desires, helping desires, you will get positive results. I'm not saying positive as in be cheerful. I'm saying selfish and self-centered. So negative, self-centered desires. Then you become very agitated. If you work with positive desires, positive in the sense of unselfish, helping others, serving others, then you become very peaceful. Right? Now, this thing, getting the agitation and getting the peace, is of significance to us because it affects us. He's saying you'll be freed of this. What does it mean? In practical terms, what does it mean? It means when you put your head on the pillow at night, you can sleep. Otherwise, what happens? You put your head on the pillow at night with every intention of sleeping, and all the thoughts of the world will come to you. That happened there, that did not happen there, that should have happened there. Why? Because we are bound by those results. So to be freed of those results is to live a normal life. Nothing much out of it. Just a normal life. You put your head on the pillow, you can sleep. You put food in your mouth, you can taste it. Do you know most people cannot taste the food that they put in their mouth because the mind has gone here, there, and everywhere? That is why they need to eat more and more because they're not realizing that they've eaten anything. So, freed of the results means you live an independent life. Somebody comes to you and says, "Oh, you're such a wonderful person." You say, "Oh, thank you very much." Somebody comes to you and says, "You're such a terrible person." You say, "Okay, maybe you're correct." There is no influence any of this is having on you. That is called freedom. We are not bound by all the stuff that happens. So why do we get bound? What is this karma bandhan? Karma bandhan is the creation of vasanas or desires. The more desires we create, the more we are bound to this world. Because once you have a desire, if you are not given the object of your desire, you are going to be miserable. If you are given the object of the desire, that you are going to be happy. This is called a karma bandhan. Yes, constant reaction to what is going on. Constant. You can never maintain an equipoise, a balance, and a general cheerful attitude towards life. When things are good, you are in the sky. When they are bad, you are in the dumps. This can't work, right? We are human beings. We are not popcorn. See, popcorn goes jumping up and down on the tawa, I understand. Why are we jumping up and down? Maintain. Maintain means maintain a dignity, a general cheer at all times. Why should we not be always cheerful? Somebody comes to you and says, "You're such a stupid person." Then you can say, "Oh, that's good. I thought you will say I'm the world's most stupid person, but now I have been promoted. I'm only a stupid person." That's good, right? So everything you can, it's a joke for you. People fight with you, it's a joke. I mean, don't show them it's a joke, but in your heart, it's a joke. People praise you. Thank you very much. You look like you're very happy about it, of course. But in your heart, you're free of it. One day, the people who think you're an idiot, next day, they think you're wise. Then third day, they think you're an idiot again. Fourth day, again, they change their mind. Is this all considered views? The day you please them, you're the world's best person. And the day you don't please them, you're the world's worst person. It's like children, right? You're not interested in all that. So, you will be freed from the evil fruits. You will be good in evil fruits. You will be freed of that up and down karma bandhan, which is just desire. How? Sannyas and Yoga. It's a beautiful coinage, just to coin it. Yoga means to join. When you join to the higher, you are released from the lower. So it's called Sannyas Yoga. Yoga means joining to the higher. Sannyas means leaving the lower. When we join to something higher, greater, nobler, we are released from the bondage of the lower. When somebody starts working for the nation, he is released from the bondage that he may have towards his own body. That is how our army Jawans, they rush into war to protect us. How do they do that? You're running into war knowing full well you can die, and still you're going. Why? Because they're motivated by the idea of the nation. It's an incredible thing when you have got united to the higher, the lower ceases to bother you. You shall come to me. You shall come to me means you and I become one. Means you attain enlightenment or self-realization. Verse 29. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. What I love, all these verses are very, very positive and uplifting verses. From now on, he tells us it doesn't matter who you are or what you are, you just follow this principle. So, samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshosti na priyaha. I am the same in all. He has been maintaining that, right? It is the same self in every body, mind, intellect. It's the same self. Na me dveshosti na priyaha. Nobody is any closer to me. Nobody is any further than me. We're all the same self. From the level of the self, it's all ekatvam. But ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Those who worship me with devotion, I am in them and they are in me. Sounds contradictory, no? On one hand, he says, "No me dveshosti na priyaha." Nobody I hate and nobody I love. That means everybody is equally close to me. And then next line he says, "But if you worship me with devotion, then you are in me and I am in you." It's a wonderful coinage in the sense that, as a matter of fact, self is the same in all. As we develop spiritually, we begin also to have same feelings for everybody, regardless of their individual behavior. Our feelings for them are all love. But they who have devotion to the self, he says, they are in me and I am in them, which means they and me have become one. Not in the sense that they were not one first, but in the sense that the desires have come down and now they know that they are the self. When the desires go to zero, you find out that you are the self. It's not that there is any difference pre-realization and post-realization. It's the same. There's a Zen saying, before realizing, or before enlightenment, chop water, draw wood. After enlightenment, chop water, draw wood. The situation hasn't changed. Your understanding of the situation has changed. You were the self, you're the self now also. You will be the self after realization also. The only difference is you will know it. That's the only difference. But what a difference that makes. Suppose there's a king who's lost his memory that he is the king. Okay? And then he roams around, whatever. He goes through so many experiences. Some people are good to him, bad to him, whatever. He's influenced by all. Then at some point, his memory comes back. Now again, he can move in all those people. Again, some may be good to him, some may be bad to him. But as the king, his whole experience is different. That's what he's referring to. So, can we ever reach such a point? Can we ever find this enlightenment? Can we ever find God? He answers that in the next verse. Api ched suducharacara bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavyah samyavyavasito hi saha api ched sudurachara bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavyah samyavyavasito hi saha. If you are api chet sudurachara, sudurachara, achar, behavior, durachar, bad behavior, sudurachar means excelling in bad behavior. If you are a terrible person and you worship me, ananya bhav, means you change your intention and desire to reach the self. Sadhu eva mantavya. Such a person will be considered a sadhu. Why? Because he has rightly resolved. He too shall be regarded righteous, for he has rightly resolved. So in philosophy, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter whether you're close to the self or far, far away. What is your level? Nobody asks. Only important thing in your spiritual life is what is your intention. That's the only thing. Because even if you're sudurachara, you're very far away from achieving the self, but you have rightly resolved. Your intention is now to reach the self. Sadhureva samantavya. He will be considered a sadhu because he has rightly resolved. Means your level doesn't matter. So don't say, oh, I'm not so good. I don't know if I'll ever realize the self. Don't have this false inferiority complex. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you can reach the self. Verse 31. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Shipram bhavati dharmatma. Quickly will you become a dharmatma. If you have decided, quickly will you attain it. And you will attain shashvat shanti, means eternal peace. Oh Kaunteya, know this. Know this fully. Name bhakta pranashyati. My bhakta will never perish. Meaning, if we are on the right path, if we have the correct intention of reaching the self, what will happen? Remember Sannyas and Yoga, you got attached to the higher, the lower desires have fallen off. Right? So as you keep doing that, as you keep rising and the desires keep reducing, you realize what happens. This world loses the power to do you any harm. What is harm? Harm means you want something and the world is preventing you from getting it. How can they do that when you don't want anything? So he says, Name bhakta pranashyati. My bhakta, anyone who has the intention of reaching the self, cannot be destroyed. It just can't be done. How can you? How can you destroy a person who is on the path and is working to reach that? You can, it's just not possible. It's like saying a child cannot destroy an adult. In the sense, everybody is like Gulliver's Travels, you know. The Gulliver, now what is the Lilliputians do to him? He doesn't do. So, name bhakta pranashyati. This is the promise of the Lord. That if you are on the right path, if you are doing the right thing, you cannot be destroyed. Because desires have come down and nobody has any capacity to cause you mental agitation. It can't be done. And whatever challenges they throw to you, you'll be very easily able to do it. No problem whatsoever. Name bhakta pranashyati. My bhakta cannot be destroyed. A great promise for us to hold to our hearts. See, what is he telling us? Think of the self. Work towards that. And when you work towards that, whatever you do, it doesn't count. In the sense, offer that to me. Just do that much in life. Work towards enlightenment. Work towards finding your original nature. Don't think, oh, I'm not good enough. How can I do this? Don't think. Don't think this thought, oh my God, what will happen to me if I start working for the self? Don't think this thought. He has promised you for both, right? Verse 33. Oh, sorry, verse 32. Mam hi parthavya pashritya ye pisyu papayonayaha striyo vaishastatha shudraha te piyanti param gatim mam hi parthavya pashritya ye pisyu papayonayaha striyo vaishastatha shudraha te piyanti param gatim. And if you do this, though of sinful birth, now this is a part which is delicate because many people object to this part. Though of sinful birth means those who are agitated. Women, Vaishyas and Shudras, they also attain the supreme goal. Please note that he's saying that they will attain. He's not saying he will not. Everybody will attain. Doesn't matter where you are. But then why did he choose women, Vaishyas and Shudras? Is he looking down on them? No, he's not. Women are not looked down in our culture. There is no women, no feminist movement over here. It's not, they're not looking down. In fact, if you know, Bhagavad Gita is referred to as Mother Gita. Maitreyi was taught by the sage Yajnavalkya. Our goddess of learning is a goddess. Even Greek is a goddess. Okay, so nobody is looking down on women. So what does it mean? It means people, any person, man or woman, who is mentally attached, such people are agitated. So even if your current state today is mental attachment, even then this knowledge will help you. What is Shudra and Vaishya? Vaishyas are those people who have tamas and rajas in equal quantities in them. The Brahmins are people who have sattva. Kshatriyas are people who have high degree of rajas. Vaishyas have rajas and tamas in equal. And Shudras have very high degree of tamas. This is how he has defined it. Please. We have somehow converted it to birth. There's nothing about birth in this. It is only people who are tamasic or rajasic or attached. Even these people can do it, is what he's trying to draw our attention to. There's a big misunderstanding about the caste system, but we can't get into that right now. Verse 33. Kim punar brahmana punyaha bhakta rajarshayas anityamasukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Kim punar brahmana punyaha bhakta rajarshayas anityamasukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. So if all these people can realize how much more than holy Brahmins and devout royal sages. So if you've already got the interest, you've already come to class, you've already got the interest, so much easier for all of us to do. And what are we leaving? We're leaving a transient, joyless world, a changing world, which anyway doesn't give us any pleasure. That's what you're leaving, and that's what you're getting. Where is the comparison here? Verse 34. Manmana bhavamadbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha manmana bhavamadbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru Mame vaishyasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Another beautiful verse for you to memorize, but I dare not say anything now. Man mana bhava madbhaktaha. Fix your mind on me. Be devoted to me. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. Sacrifice for me. Bow down to me. You shall definitely reach me. You shall definitely come to me. Ananya chinta, no other thought. In fact, this is just summarizing what we have studied so far. No other thought. Man mana. Man mana means mat mana. In me, fix your mind. Be devoted to me. Sacrifice to me. All your actions are dedicated to that. Go down to me. You shall definitely come to me. Take me as the supreme goal. Do not get diverted in this world to try and find happiness somewhere here, because it's not available. This is a very, very popular and famous verse where it says, do it all for me. Do it all for me means do it all for self-realization. Don't get diverted in the process. Don't lose your way in the world. So much so that you forget where the real stuff lies. We are here, we have to do many things over here, so let us do it. But let us not forget where we are to head. And if we live our life like that, we will get everything we are looking for. Do not worry about it, because me bhakta nattanishati, my bhakta never will never perish in any way, will never be destroyed in any way. Work for that one goal. And how, if you're going to ask me, how will you do that? We have classes, so please do join us for classes and keep on track, please. This is not the end. We'll read together the last portion. Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidhyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvadi Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga Nama Navamo Prayaha. And to indicate that this is not the end of studying chapter 9, but the very beginning, let us chant together the first verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam Pravakshanyana suyave Jnanam vijnana sahitam Yajñatva mokshase shubhat.
Hari Om, everyone. These are the takeaway points from today's lecture, day 4, the last day of the Yajna on chapter 9. As Janki ji mentioned, this is just the start of our studies. We have online classes which are interactive weekly. They're on your screen. If anyone wants to join them, there would be more information on how to join this in the groups that you're a part of, the Yajna groups. There is also a WhatsApp number here that you can reach out to in case you want to join these classes. We also have an upcoming lecture in Bangalore. The details are on your screen. This is on Friday, 15 September. Please, all those who are in the city and want to attend this, and please spread the word amongst your friends and family for this upcoming lecture on 15th of September. Now, in the tradition of Guru Shishya Parampara, Shishyas can make a humble offering to their Guru as a mark of respect. The link is on the chat for everyone. And we would want to thank Janki ji for taking us through this series for the last 4 days. Also, thanks to all the volunteers behind the scenes, and thanks to everyone for attending. Hari Om.
If you all have any questions, please come to the class next Sunday. I couldn't take questions, so if you have any questions, please do come to the class next Sunday and we can discuss your questions. Hari Om. I hope to see you all again.